Hello again, everyone. I just got these little tulip dies from Amazon, and I just thought that they had kind of possibility because they've got some, like Gummiapan. I don't know the make of these. They've got some etched and cut lines in them. So I'd just like to show you how I got from kind of that to that, and I'm sure you'll think that that looks a little bit more dynamic than this does. So I got 2 for each cut. I cut them out twice so that I've got matching pairs, and I'm going to cut down one to add to the other. So I've been getting in quite a pickle with this red marker, and if you get it on your fingers like this and then you hold, for example, the stem that you're going to colour in a different colour, you'll transfer some of that ink onto what you're holding. So, you know, either put it onto a sticky mat, but I don't like putting ink onto sticky mats. I know you can wipe them a bit, blah-de-blah. You know, just be careful, that's all I'm saying, basically. So we've got 2 more flowers here and a couple more stems. I thought I would make this into a thank you card. I've got a small tent folded card, and this stencil is cut from Mylar with a Gummiapan Slimline die. I absolutely love it, and I put it on here, taped it down, and just inked just a little bit with some Lost Shadow. So that's my kind of backdrop. The wrapper, it's often a problem, isn't it? You cut some flowers, colour them, whatever, what to do with them. And I've got various wrappers from different makes. There's one here. This one is a Gummiapan one, but really it's too small for the size of these tulips. So I tried to think a bit laterally, and I remembered I'd got this stamp from Stampin' Up. It's very old, but it's got this kind of picture of a wrapper. So I just stamped it, cut it out, and then coloured it a little bit. I used some of this E210 marker. I tried a bit of antique linen distress oxide just to sort of distress it down a bit, really. And what I plan is kind of putting some of these into this wrapper. Not all of the stems reach the bottom or stick out of the bottom, so I thought I would just use one stem, cut it up, and to have some ends coming out the other end, just to make it look like it's, you know, part of the whole deal. So that's my idea for that. So I'll just show you how I went about doing the tulips themselves. First thing is to colour them, and I'm going to colour the 2 matching ones that I'm going to cut one up to put on top of the other. And then I'll show you. It's silly me just saying, this is what I'll do, that's what I'll do, I'll show you. So I'm just looking for a bit of scrap, actually. This will do. If I use the Mylar to do my colouring on as a you know, a backdrop to keep this clean, that colour transfers more easily from Mylar to my fingers than it would on this. So I've got 2 shades of red, R4 and R8. One's geranium, the other one's deep red, it says. Oh, there you go. So this is the darker one. I'll just put a little bit. I always darken the left-hand side of my whatevers. So I'll try and keep my fingers out of the way this time. I'm colouring all of it for the minute. I'm only going to cut, don't know which one I'm going to, I think I'll probably cut that one off. Let's do this one as well while we're at it. Okay, that's one. That's the deeper colour. Now we'll use some. Oh, I'll use. Look at the fruity colour coming out. Here we go. Just need to blend that colour one into the other. I've tried doing the light one first and the dark one first. Doesn't seem to make an incredible amount of difference. But then if you're not happy with the blend that as is, just keep going and it should get better, says she. Don't know which one to put onto which, really. Let's colour this one. Right. There's the end. Now I'm just going to cut the front petal off one of each. I think I will cut this one off this one here. That's for that one. And I will cut this one off this one to stick onto the other one. The other bits can be thrown away. Right, that's for this. Now, before I do any more, what I wanted to do was to be able to close this tulip up a little. So to be able to close it up, I'm going to have to snip this bit here, and then I can do this business. Do you see? And you can mould this. You can either use an embossing tool, but you can mould it with your fingers. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue inside here to keep these petals together. Let's just see. In there. And then we can push this one in like that. Okay. Then a little bit of glue on the bottom here. And I'm going to put this extra petal on, and I'm going to move it over just slightly, so this has got a little bit extra showing. Okay. You can put it on exactly over the top, or you can put it on, as I just did, staggered, but it doesn't make a whole heap of difference. It's a personal preference. So here, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the inside there, so I can push the other side just into it, just a tad, like that. There we go. Makes more of a bud of it. Makes it, I don't know, more dynamic looking to my eye. Put a little bit of glue on here. Then we can put this one on the top. There we go. You can just mould them with your fingers. That was okay. So there we have two more tulip heads. They're all slightly different, these. I looked at them and I thought, well, they look the same, but they're not actually. They're just slightly different. So we need a couple of the stems coloured, another two stems. So let's just, I'll get my paper back here. I don't know if I'm going to use all of these or not, but we'll see. The colour I've picked for that is beige green, G240, beige green. It's quite a cool sort of green. There we go. Right, oh, there's a leaf I haven't coloured. Let's just put a bit of colour on that. I don't know if I'm going to use it or not. Okay. This business of cutting up a stamped image to use with some die cuts is something I really hadn't kind of thought about before. But I remembered this stamp had got this wrapper thing of newspaper, and I thought, well, perhaps it would be kind of all right. So this is, I think, is going to go sort of on here like this somehow. let's stick some stems onto these two. Just put a bit of glue at the base of the flower, and then pop one of the stems on. I've got enough glue. I think I've put most of that on my fingers. Make sure it looks as if it's coming out of the flower at a natural angle. And this one. I think realism has got a lot to do with how pleasant something looks. You get an angle looking wrong, so it doesn't look as if it's actually growing, then things won't look quite so good. Okay, so these could go in as well. And then I can put some of this one at the bottom for bits coming out. Now, what to do about how to put it on to the card. This is going to be a bit of a quandary, really. Let's just see. If I were to glue the sides, I haven't really thought about this. I did wonder if I put a piece of, I think I'll put, well, I'll just put a bit of glue all over this, but just only stick down the sides. Let's have a bit of glue across the middle. So if any of the stems touch that, they would stick. And I'm going to put some right across the edge, right on the very, very edge. Like that, each side. So let me see if I can get this to stick, leaving the centre up a little bit. I'm going to put it about here. So I'm going to leave that just for a little minute. So I think I'll put a little bit of glitter gloss on these. What I have done is with the leaves, just done this kind of business. So I won't stick the whole of the leaf down. I'll just put a trail of glue somewhere without you know, covering the whole thing with glue. I think I've done that one. The ones I've just done, obviously, I haven't used any embossing on, an embossing tool. Just give them a bit of lift. This one as well. Okay. These flowers, of course, you see, I've kind of moulded those a bit with my fingers. What I think I'll do is to put one little foam square. Here I've got some little foam squares, so I'm going to use some of these. Got some red on the end of that. I'll give those a wipe. Okay. Just on the back of the flowers. Okay, is that all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let me see if we can start arranging some of these by just sliding them inside. So the only thing that's going to hold them is basically the foam square. About there. They've got to be believably placed, haven't they? That one's right there. Let's just take that off. That'll do like that. And this one. Let's try a few of the leaves. I'm just going to put a trail of glue down one side. I think that will do. Just put a little bit in the bottom of this one. Let's try it. I'm going to cut this up to make some bits coming out of the bottom. I don't know how many I need. Do I want another leaf? I ask myself. I put one in there, I think. Just put a bit of glue on the bottom. There we go. Right, let's just cut this up to make a few bottoms. How many do I need? I'll cut it into 3, I think. Okay. So a bit of glue on the end I'm going to push in. That looks as if it might be coming from that one, but it's not. Put a bit of glue on the end of this one. And one more. Shouldn't do the glue over the card in case it drips, should I? There we go. I'd like some of it coming down there, I think, really. Never mind. Now, I was thinking that I would have thank you on here as a sentiment. I've cut this from this piece of black glitter card, and I realised after I'd cut it, it actually has got some double-sided sheet on the back, so this actually should stick. There we go. One thank you card. Oh dear. But it's just a different way of looking at things, using a bit of a stamp, which I never would have thought of doing before, using a bit of a stamp to act almost like a, I don't know, a bit like a die cut, I suppose. I cut it out and stick it on. So, I kind of like that. Thank you. So a thank you card from some little tulips that have been transformed somewhat. So, as ever, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.